what up, guys? This is your boy MT Choso. I'm back with another JavaScript crash course. If you are new to this YouTube channel, welcome, and please smash the like button and also subscribe to receive some more familiar content to this one. So yeah, guys. Without wasting your time, I'm redoing the crash course of JavaScript. Because I saw in the last part many things I've left on them, so I've tried to better my teaching style, so I'm trying as best as I could. So yeah, so this JavaScript, as you know, is brought to you by Ngubane, and I'll be only showing you JavaScript. If you don't know the basics of HTML and CSS, this video won't make sense to you, because you'll have to understand in terms of how JavaScript connects with HTML and CSS. So yeah, let's just get started. Let me just make my face smaller. Okay, I think that's enough because I don't wanna disturb the presentation. So yeah, a little bit of introduction. There are many things that I would have mentioned here, so I try to keep it to a bare minimum. So as you can see, as you can no, I am Ngubane. I'm a front-end developer. Currently, that's what my job role says. And I love to code, which is I've programmed React Native softwares. I've developed some full-stack web apps, and I've also tried, gaming engines. So all of that content stuff, I'll try to do it as time goes on. But for now, I'll be focusing on the programming basics, But as much as I love to code, on my spare time I play games. That's what I do. Online gaming, that is what I do. So a little bit about JavaScript background. JavaScript is a scripting language you can use to make web apps interactive. It is one of the core technologies of the web, along with HTML and CSS, and is supported by all modern browsers, which is fantastic because you don't have to stress about that functionality on some other web browser or something like that, so you are totally covered. So in this course I'll be just showing you the fundamentals, concept in JavaScript. We'll start with basic data structures like numbers and strings, then you learn to work with arrays, objects, function, loops, if else statement, and more. Because I know I might have left some few things here, but I'll try to cover all of, even if it's not all, because you can't cover JavaScript like in 1 hour or 2 hours. There's a bit of a learning curve right there. So yeah, even like myself, I'm still learning. Even today there are some new things that JavaScript pops up. So yeah, so there are two important programming styles in generally most programming language. They've got object oriented, which is most of them do that, and also functional programming in JavaScript. I don't know about others, but I know Java supports object oriented programming. So yeah. So this is sort of like the little syntax example. So as you can see on the upper image, which is the one that has only HTML, that's why I said if you know the basics of HTML, congratulations, you'll survive. So as you can see, I've got the paragraph element right there. I've got the opening tag of a paragraph and my text content, which is I am about to learn JavaScript, and my closing paragraph tag. So as you can see, the result on your right hand side, where there's a sort of white background and a black color. As you can see, I am about to learn HTML. So JavaScript, sorry. So once I add JavaScript, I made use of the built-in function, which is set timeout. So set timeout is a function that runs after a specific provided time. So as you can see at line 3 at the end, there's 100. So that 100 represent 100 milliseconds. So that the code that is inside of our bracket is supposed to run after 100 milliseconds once the page has been loaded. So yeah, I don't wanna dive deep. So as you can see, the content changed from I'm about to learn JavaScript, and then to I changed content with JavaScript, which is it's cool. So yeah, Um, so the first topic that we'll be discussing, I think, is variables, right? Variables are containers to store data. That's all. We can store like literally any data that we want: string, numbers, boolean, um, you know, and then for example, e.g., I've got a variable called name, and I've assigned it with an equals operator, and then I've got the opening tag, and then I assigned my name, which is Mtobisi, and a closing tag, right? That represents a string, so this is what we call a string data type, right? And then I'm storing that string data type into a variable called name. Don't mind the vacuate, it's what we tell our compiler that we want to make a variable called name so that we can be able to use that later in our code or something like that. And then we always declare variables with the var, let, and const. So far that's what you need to know. And then there are different variables, right? Just like I said before, we use let to store data that might change in future. So we want to change it in future, so that's why we want to use let so that you don't get any errors. So as you can see the example there, e.g. let name is equals to JS, right? The let keyword is similar to the var keyword because it tells our compiler that we want to store a certain variable which is called name, and then that variable contains a string data type. Make sure you don't forget a string data type has quotes, single quotes, or double quotes, either opening or closing. But the thing you need to be careful with, you cannot start with a single quote and then end with a double quote. It will give you an error because it's not recognizing they are not the same. So yeah, and then as you can see, when we want to change the value in future, we just write the name of our variable, which is name, right? And then we make use of the assign operator, which is equals to, and then we add JavaScript there, and the data type is also a string, right? So what's interesting is that we can also change data types, but I'll show you that later. So a var, we normally use the var keyword for both instances, so you can be able to use for both. Either we can change the value or we do not want to change the value, but that's a bad practice, so that's why many people don't use the var keyword nowadays. They just use the let, and then we know the let might change in future, and then which brings us to const. We use const for a strict value that does not change once declared. So if we try to redeclare the name, let's say we say our const name is equal to JS, right? And then we try to say name is equal to JavaScript. Now it will give you an error because we are trying to redeclare, so it is not allowed with the const word. So it is a strict value that does not change. So I think, yeah, that's about it on the presentations, right? Let's try and then jump to VS Code, right? Let me just zoom in a little bit because I'm not sure if you can see. So I'm just gonna increase the font. I'm just gonna say deity. Okay, then I'm gonna see into how to display. Okay, let's create a new project. So all you have to do is to go to your projects directory. Mine it's on another driver, and then program files. This is where I create all of my project, right? And then I'm just gonna left click on Windows and then click on new folder, and then I'm just gonna say JavaScript, right? And then I'm just gonna select that folder, and then it's gonna open, right? And then we create an index.html. That's why I said you'll need to be familiar. I think the font is too big, I'm not sure, but as long as you can see, I'm fine with that. So this is a boilerplate, So yeah, if I scroll, it's just a boilerplate code. All you have to do is to add an extension called HTML snippet, right? HTML snippet. There it is. Just have to click on that and then click on install instead of disable. They will be installed just like here. You can click on install. Yeah, you just have to do that and then come back here and then actually. So let me just make autosave because I don't wanna save each and every time, so I want it to save itself. So let's get out of the extensions. Let's go to the folders. So I'm just gonna say you can call it any name. I'm just gonna say do more.js. You can call it anything you like. And then let's just check if we did let's just check if we linked our project with with JavaScript. Always I usually link those two. You need to write a script and then choose the source, and then for the source you just use the current directory and then just do more, right? And then you'll be done. And then if you click on go live, if you don't have that option right here at the bottom of your screen, let me just decrease or move that, put it right here so that it does not disturb your view. So as you can see, I'm talking about this go live. You just need to install a snippet, and not a snippet, an extension called live server, and then it will show, and again it will show an install button right here if you don't have it, and then repeat that. All you have to do is to go to your index HTML and then click on go live, right? Okay, so as you can see, you saw that alert. Sometimes if you don't wanna run like the functions, just use the defer method to just tell the browser to load it later, right? Okay, so instead of using alert, I just use the console, Now you're not seeing anything. If you left click and then click on inspect and then click on console, right? Okay, there it is, connected. And then sometimes it shows errors, so yeah, let's just get started with variables, right? Let's say on my HTML file I've got I want to keep it to the most basic, because I don't want to use input, because that's another crash course, advanced crash course, which is getting values from our input folder, our input element. So I'm just gonna have a paragraph tag and then just say your name is, right? And then here I'm just gonna leave it as it is, right? And then if I wanna insert some content there, because I just wanna if you go to the browser, you'll see that your name is and then let's style that so that you can see. Let's give it a font size of, right, okay, font size. I thought I clicked on the correct one, right? Okay, if you go to the browser, that should be big. Okay, it's now increased. Okay, I wanna change that and then insert like a name after the browser has loaded, right? And then to do that, I'm just gonna remove this, and then I'm just gonna grab our element, document dot query selector. This is how we grab our element, and then we only have one paragraph tag, which means we can use then the tag name of that element, which is the paragraph tag, right? And then we just say dot inner HTML. We are grabbing the inner HTML, and then as you can see, if you go to the browser, we are not seeing anything. Nothing is happening because we didn't store that in a variable, right? Let me just use the vacuum, and then I'm just gonna say text it's equals to document.query selector, and then if you go to the browser, right, and then you make use of what the console. That's where the reusing of the variable that you declared, that's where the whole purpose comes from. So you can just say console console.log, right, and then text, right, and then if you go to the browser and then refresh, and then as you can see, it displays your name is. So let's say we didn't have a variable, right? Let's just say we manipulate that, right? Let me just manipulate that with JavaScript, and then after viewing that, I'm gonna try and then change the value. It's equals to, and then single quotes, right, and then I change content, right, and then now we want to display that. I just wanna show you the value of variables. I'm still trying to show you in terms of how we do it. Let me just refresh. Okay, I changed content. Okay, no problem. The reason why it's acting like this, okay, this is the why I wanted to show you, right? And then I'm just gonna redeclare. So I'm redeclaring. I'm showing you that the variable can using the vacuum, you can redeclare the variables, and then we'll move to const to let. As you can see, I changed content. Your name is, I changed content, right? So it keeps on updating, right? And then let's just say now we didn't use variable, we didn't have our container text, right? And then we try to console our data, and then I'm just going to use the console. So as you can see, we are doing everything manually ourselves, and it's kind of messy. It's really messy. It's long, and then I'm gonna try and then move that and then make use of. So on this part, I'll have to leave it like this and then try again and retype the whole thing. That's where variables save our lives. So you've got all of these long statements right here. So as you can see, it prints both, but that's where variables come in. So let me show you on const, right? Let me just not delete that. Let me just move this, right? Move this and show you with const, right? Const is equals to bear in mind, the reason why I don't have single quotes or whatsoever is because I'm grabbing the content from the browser, which means it's from our browser. So I can't make use, because I'm using built-in functions of JavaScript. And then for that to appear, where is this thing? and then I will try to have const again called text. Okay, not const. I'll just remove that because we have already declared it. Right, we're gonna try and redeclare the text, right, and then make use of the strict. Not sure why I did that. Okay, it's the autosave field feature. Let me just remove it. And then we control save, and then we go to the browser, and then we refresh. Okay, so as you can see, type error, we get a type error saying assignment to constant variable at. So that means you cannot redeclare a value, right? Okay, thanks everybody. I hope this makes sense. Yeah, see you on the next tutorial, and please comment below if there are some changes you would like to see. Thanks, bye, peace.